Hey, Eric.
Hey, Chris.
Have you played Final Fantasy VII Rebirth yet?
I have.
Today is March 24th, 2024, by the way.
So it's been out for about a month. I think I crossed the 17-hour mark today.
Cool.
I spent all my time playing Final Fantasy Tactics and editing God Hand podcast, Chris.
Yeah, on that same note, I have purchased Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I have not started Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'm also in the middle of Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth.
So these are both fairly modern JRPGs with tons of stuff to do. I would give an edge to Like a Dragon generally in that situation. But when you enter an open world like this and you see an Ubisoft allotment of shit to do, are you paralyzed with choice and decision? Is it like the first time you get an emulator and it's like, what all of Super Nintendo games library do I play? And instead you play nothing and go do something else.
Honestly, for me, it's not instant paralysis. It depends on how the world
how much new
wants
shit
to draw me in.
Do they want to teach me, and how much do I have to retain, and how much of that is tested, how much of it is necessary, and I don't want to play a fucking card game.
Yeah, so that's what it's doing to you?
Pretty much. Like, I load it up, and then I kind of play a little bit, but I can't ever fully engage myself because I don't want to learn that many new things. Because then I'll forget Final Fantasy Tactics stuff, Chris, and that's what's important to me right now.
Like a Dragon 8 is doing some similar stuff because there's an entire fucking Pokemon game in there where you capture the Sujimon guys and have to do Pokemon battles. And
you just said the word have to. Do you have to?
No, you don't have to.
See?
But it's there.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny.
And you'll feel like you won't get your money's worth if you don't explore all the content, right?
No, I just think it's kind of funny and I want to see it play out. But also, it's like, do I want to really have to manage all these guys and evolve my Sujimon?
I was going to say, can you go in a little bit, get your toe wet, or once you go in, you have to go all the way in?
I don't think you have to go all the way in.
I'm saying you.
Me personally?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've already, the equivalent of the Elite Four in that game, I've already beaten 2 of them. So I feel like might as well be the other 2, right?
Yeah. Thank God there's no Animal Crossing game also buried in I
haven't even got that far in the game yet. So I don't even know what that entails. That's why I mostly in my free time play a game called Against the Storm, which I'm not going to describe to you because you would probably pass out.
Yeah, that's good.
It's the antithesis of everything that you like in video games, but I love it. Anyway, would you like to hear some hot sounds that I've recorded?
Yes, Chris.
I recorded hot sounds.
That game's so fucking good. Welcome to Retrograde Amnesia, a comprehensive podcast about classic Japanese role-playing games where we discover them together, chapter by chapter, beat by beat. Welcome back to Season 6. We are covering Final Fantasy Tactics. My name is Chris. I'm joined by Eric. Hi.
Hey, Chris.
What's happening?
Doing a podcast.
Great. We're also joined by the RealNet, a collective of patrons who are listening to us record live on a secret video feed at patreon.com/retroam. Thank you, RealNet.
We're also joined by the Fake Net, our post-production AI companion, who doesn't want to engage with the bullshit right now and just wants to get right to Final Fantasy Tactics.
Initializing Fake Net.
Do you think newer listeners know that the Hot Sounds Mark recorded is a cover of Tim's Man of the Sea from Xenogears?
Hi.
Hello, Crisp. Get to work.
Yeah, well, you heard her, Chris.
Fine.
Let's go to the merchant city of Dorter.
No, excuse me. It's called the Slums in Dorter.
Fine.
We're in the slums.
Oh, heavens. It's time for another battle, this time in the Dorter slums. It's a shanty town. Even the skies are weird and yellow. Does pollution exist here?
No, I think everything's steam-powered.
Got you. Music.
Does magic give out pollution?
It could. Okay. It has to. Energy transfer, matter, whatnot, Isaac Newton, all that shit.
Damn.
No. Music, espionage plays.
Initializing Fake Net.
Crisp will correct you in a moment, but the song is actually Count's Anger.
And we're privy to a secret meeting in the back of some slum-ass slum.
Music I've got is called Count's Anger.
That is a separate track.
Oh.
Fake Net, what track is... Actually, does it play the same track across games? Because there are 10 different fucking battle themes.
I'm using the Google to listen to the song and tell me what song it is.
Google tells you what song it is?
Yeah.
Oh, I use my human ears to suss that out.
I can't do it.
Chris trusts AI to run this podcast. You know where that leads us. Fucking Fake Net.
Hi.
Just remember the boy who used AI was right, and the boy who used his human ears was wrong.
We're talking between a swordsman and a cape knight, correct?
Yeah.
The swordsman denies knowledge of whatever the knight is inquiring, and he tries to leave, but the knight gets in his way and demands additional information.
Did you notice the knight his cape has some additional coloring on it?
Is it red?
No, in the PlayStation version, it has these 2 green and yellow chevron shapes that are going down on his cape. Denote, I guess, that he is Important?
Yes, to sell you good gasoline.
Yes.
The knight becomes surly. Do not speak false to me. I know what you've done. Where is Gustav? I will have it from you one way or another.
Damn.
We've established in this fiction knights are cops, right?
In this fiction, we have not established that, but...
Can we?
Well...
Because they seem to be bullying poor people all the time.
That's true, but what if the Knights of the Corpse Brigade, who are like fighting against the cops, and they change their job classes to knights, then are they cops?
Cops fight cops all the time. There's different agencies.
Yeah, but I've
seen Super Troopers.
I think when knight is a job class and not a job, that it's not you're not necessarily a cop. If your job that you draw your paycheck as a knight, then you're a cop. If you just change your class to a knight so that you can kill some monsters, then you're just a knight.
Chris, would it be I who could benefit from so lucky of able to change from one class to another?
You personally?
I don't know.
I don't know what the mechanics of changing jobs are in Final Fantasy. Like, are we holding a crystal that shines and changes my outfit?
I just think it's got hats. When you put the new hat on, it changes your entire wardrobe.
I love it. It's really good.
The swordsman backs away, lowers his head, and once again claims no knowledge of the present situation. My angry as fuck knight then asks the swordsman where he has hidden the marquee. My dude also denies knowledge of this matter, prompting the knight to grab the swordsman's neck in his fist and left hand, and it makes a crackling sound.
Oh, the crunchy sound effect is really good.
The swordsman punches the knight in the face and gets loose, but then the swordsman trips over a ditch or whatever, and my guy's down and he stares at the knight. He crawls away on his back in fear as the knight marches toward him.
I love it.
The knight draws his sword, points it at the dude's throat, and once again asks for his desired information. Where are they? Chris, it worked that time.
Good job. All I gotta do is throw a guy in the mud. You get a little bit more information out of him. Get him muddy.
And point a sword at him.
Yeah. No, you gotta get him muddy first.
The terrified swordsman confesses they're in the desert. The knight sheathes his sword, seemingly knowing this place as the Sand Rat's Siege.
The Sand Rat's what?
Siege.
Siege?
Siege.
Have you seen Dune?
I've seen Dune, but I don't know what a siege is. Is that like a
fucking tent in the desert? A fucking cave?
Oh,
a desert cave? Shelter?
Is that word in the same genre as like britches?
FakeNet, is siege in the same genre as bridges?
Initializing FakeNet.
A siege is a Freeman word meaning place of assembly in time of danger. It is literally from Dune. The word breeches does not seem to appear in the fiction of Dune.
In my game, it's called Rat Cellar.
That's the new podcast studio name.
Welcome down to the Rat Cellar.
We're holding down the Rat Cellar. Sniff the poison.
You whore sons.
Out of nowhere, Ramza enters the scene, commanding the knight to hold. The knight turns around and expresses disappointment. The order, swords, my luck turns foul with the weather. My dude then disappears into the slums. Argath, though, is glad we showed up. Delita seems to recognize that knight from somewhere. I have seen his face, I'm sure of it. It was at Egros just after the war's end. So this knight is out here hustling Corpse Brigade townies? Is that what's happening?
There's a rift going on here.
Okay.
One of these guys is here to slit throats and gain coin, and the other one is here for politics.
Because we know that Zalbag or Dystar, one of those fuckers, has a man on the inside of the Corpse Brigade.
Oh, could he be him?
Could he be him, or could he be trying to suss out who's him because he knows who him is to him?
He's him.
Now the swordsman's up, and he wants a piece of us? What the hell? Ramza says, you'll pardon me my misgivings, but this has not the look of any joyous reunion. To arms!
To arms!
Music, decisive battle plays, and we're off. Objective, defeat all enemies, commence.
I like how the guys that we're going to fight, they slowly creep out of doors.
Yeah, they just start emerging.
Yeah.
Like all kinds of street toughs do in movies that I've seen.
Yes. It really did evoke that kind of technique that's used in film when like a guy's about to, like, Keanu Reeves is about to beat up 7 guys. And
Rufio's going to summon the Lost Boys.
There you go. That's perfect.
Delita, and I don't know why the game does this right after it starts a battle, but now Delita remembers who this fucker is, or who that fucker was.
Yeah?
I've just remembered that man, his name is Weegraf?
Weegraf.
Doth thou seek the power?
Weegraf.
He commanded the Dead Men during the war, a company of volunteers assembled from the peasantry.
The Dead Men? Is that proper noun, Dead Men?
Yes, proper noun, Dead Men. The Dead Men became the Corpse Brigade after the war.
God, I've got Death Knights, but Dead Men is so much better. Wow.
Argath and Delita realize that makes him the commander of the Corpse Brigade. I have no clue if they're talking about the swordsman or the knight at this point. No fucking idea who they're talking
I
about.
think they're talking about Wygraf. They're
Yeah.
talking about Wygraf.
Well, yeah, but I don't know who's Wygraf at this point. Like, who fucked who in this scenario?
He was the aggressor
Okay.
in that situation.
Okay, now battle commence for real.
Yeah, this is a really tough battle.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Corn and El Nino get one-shotted even though I got them the best armor in the previous store. I hate this shit. On my second attempt, Delita and Argath climb the tower to try to get to that archer, but then they refuse to attack him. They're just up there jerking off.
Really? That's weird.
Delita in my game is a fucking pacifist and it pisses me off.
Oh, no.
He just goes to the corner and stays there a lot of the time.
Weird. No, in my game, Argath and Delita both ran after the archer up there, but the archer did succeed in, like, pelting my fucking black mage multiple times.
I mean, my Argath isn't really helped out by having no armor or weapons on him.
That's true.
The enemy mage is doing spells that hurt their guys and also my guys.
Well, when you cast a spell, you can target a unit or you can target a panel. But if you target a unit and that unit moves next to one of your guys, they are going to get hit in that range. There's a splash damage involved with that. So
See, this is like a level of planning and thinking that I'm just not capable of doing.
You can do it, Eric. Let me give you a hint here. If you do want to use magic in this game,
Sure. I don't think so, but go ahead.
do whatever you can to increase the speed of your mages, because then they will cast it before too many turns have passed.
Such as buffing them with my time mage, Chris? That's later in the game, sorry.
Yeah, or you could yell at them with Ramza at this point in time.
That's a command I only learned existed right now.
It's probably not called yell in your game, so we can really have no tactical conversations about this game called Final Fantasy Tactics because of the language barrier.
Well, here, let's have another interesting conversation. Chris, guess how many Phoenix Downs I use in this battle?
4?
7.
7?
7.
Here's the thing about using a Phoenix Down is I use one on Ramza and it revives him, but it gives him 13 HP. So he's killed again immediately. So I have to start planning out my Phoenix Down usage and burn too many of them trying to revive. Like you set up one guy to use Phoenix Down, then the other guy to use the fucking potion.
Yeah.
Then you're out of guys who can use items and you can't do damage to anybody. And fucking Corn and El Nino are doing 12 damage with each goddamn attack.
That's true.
Having a rough time.
It's tough.
We're having a rough time.
It's rough out there.
Is it fucked or am I fucked?
It sounds like you're just a little weak.
Thank you.
I did also get fucked in this battle a couple of times, and I had to go do some finagling with my job classes and leveling up and stuff like that.
At some point, Delita woke up and just started taking over the battle for me. And here's my next question, is by killing everyone for me, doing damage and killing them while I just take turns potioning and Phoenix Downing the rest of my guys, is Delita absorbing most of the experience points that should be going to my dudes?
If you're taking actions, then I think that you're okay.
But you don't get like more points for slaughtering people? Like it's like throwing Phoenix Downs at Ramza over and over again is not going to turn the wheel too efficiently, right?
That's a question I'm not sure. You should probably start paying attention to the level of the number of job points that you're getting.
Fuck. Okay.
But
I have to look at more numbers and figure out what those do. Even more numbers.
No, just like, is 20 higher than 15? I don't know.
I can't tell. Who the fuck knows, dude?
Well, he's not going to be there. Like, at some point in this game, you're not going to have very many guest characters. So
All numbers are fake.
I would recommend at this point in time to do some leveling. I did almost lose Lester during this battle. Like, Lester got knocked down, and I was like, Lester!
Just like that.
But I was able to finish the battle before he perished.
I commonly finish battles with Corn or Godsmack on the ground with a 1 or a 0 over their head.
Yeah.
Like just praying to God that we can fucking hang on.
Yeah. This was the first time I ever tried to use a black mage in combat, and nothing worked for me in this case. So I needed to go get Cindy some levels before Cindy can be effective. Anyway, did you win eventually?
I won. We have to proceed with the podcast and the video game.
We got an iron sword, a linen robe, and a potion of some sort. I couldn't tell. It faded away too quickly.
Good job, video game.
Thanks.
Post-battle music invasion plays. Not the one from Xenogears. Thank you. And we appear to be indoors in one of the slum houses. Delita's leaned against the wall like a cool guy, like a Zell from God Hand.
Oh, yeah, he's posted up.
Yeah.
Like when you can't just post up by leaning up against the wall. You have to have the proper configuration of arm fold and heel on wall. Must happen.
You know, the idea of posting up at a wall has really changed in the smartphone era, because it used to be when I'd go to a party and feel weird, I would post up against the wall. Nothing to do. You just put your hands in your pockets and stare around. But now if you got a phone you can look at, you look cool.
Yeah.
Like if you don't smoke, what do you do next to a wall? You look at a phone.
You vape.
You vape.
Do not vape.
I should start vaping. Good point. Let's go to parties and vape, Chris.
Yes, let's go. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That swordsman's on the ground taking a knee. Ramza stands to the side, and Argath appears to be leading this interrogation. We know you're of the brigade. There's no use hiding it. Out with it. What have you done with the Marquis? Where are you holding him? The swordsman says nothing, but Argath continues to ask more questions. You were with your commander, Wiegraf. Wiegraf?
Wheatgraph?
We all graph. Wiegraf when we came upon you. Where is he gone? Mayhap a beating would loosen your tongue. Chris, do you sense that Argath really needs to step his shit up a notch to earn his keep, so that's why he's being so aggressive? Is he compensating for something?
He's singularly focused on the revival of his house and
Needs to get
his
results.
honor and stuff like that.
Like, I get him trying to talk tough in front of Zalbag and Dice Man, right? But Delita and Ramza, they're just equivalent jerk-offs.
That's true, yeah.
Anyway, Argath then slugs this guy in the mouth, causing him to kind of slump forward.
Oh, I got a kick.
We're beating prisoners, Chris. And so we now have Delita gut-punching a lady in the prologue. We now have Argath assaulting an innocent person. Never mind the fact that we just killed the rest of his friends on the battlefield in the slums. Somehow this is worse, right? Because he's defenseless?
Yeah, I think so.
I think when you commit sins like this, you put like a doom counter over your head in a JRPG. Has anyone ever beat up an innocent guy and then been on your team later? Other than that fucko Magus.
Did Magus kill any innocents?
I don't know. I forgot. I killed him.
I don't think he
Went
did.
on my team.
That's a really good point. I can't think of any good examples off the top of my head. You can't even be like slightly racist and stay on. Like, look at Virgil.
Yeah.
He wasn't racist. He was more of a, I don't know what you would call.
I bet Fun Guy and Mojo stack some bodies.
Yeah.
Argath pulls the man's head up by his hair, a level of violence that prompts Ramza to call off his dog. Argath complies, but he isn't done speaking. Listen well, a great host with the order at its van prepares a sweeping campaign that will bring to book your Turncloak Brigade.
Bring to book your Turncloak Brigade?
Yeah.
Translation, you're going straight to hell.
You will die. You will be hunted down to the last and slaughtered like the swine you are, for such is Brigandy's reward. But you, pig, are a lucky one. Tell us what we wish to know, and you may yet keep your bacon.
Keep your bacon?
Keep your bacon.
Rather than save your bacon, keep your bacon.
Oh man, I gotta keep my bacon every day.
So where is Wiegraf? Honestly, all this does is make me want a medieval-themed professional wrestling promotion.
It's kind of what this game is full of anyway.
Yeah. My guy responds, how the hell should I know? Which is wonderful, thank you. Argath then super kicks him in the face, like he jumps and leaps into the kick. There is no practical reason to do this other than it looks cool.
It does. The guy goes flying backwards and like it's not in slow motion, but there's enough fluttering in the air to where it feels really violent.
Yeah. Argath then insults him even more. I'll not bear your ribald tongue, rogue.
Is rogue too standard to be an insult?
I think rogue's too standard. I mean,
so
ribald, the combination there does kind of help, but no. Learn to guard it if you not have it cut from your throat. My dude goes fetal and confesses something interesting. He says he is no rogue. Argath tells him to run tell that to all the men he robbed. Chris, engage the throttle on class warfare because this guy then brings the thunder.
Yeah.
You nobles are all the same. You think every man born outside a castle's walls less than human. We fought for this kingdom at peril of our very lives, yet the moment the war was ended, you turned us out into the streets. What do you think makes you so special?
You dumped us.
Birth, blood, what difference does it make?
What the hell's rank? So we are finally getting the are we the baddies moment.
Yeah.
Early in this game.
Is where I think it is first established. Because right now I was kind of on board like, yeah, the nobility's probably just doing the best they can to stuff out these terrorists, you know.
So do we think that Ramza and Delita are both seeing the bigger picture here while Argath is completely focused on his singular mission?
Yes.
Like he doesn't hear this.
No.
He's listening, but he doesn't hear
I
it.
think Ramza and Delita both take different levels of radicalizing psychic damage.
Very well put.
Whereas Argath rejects any of that damage. Like he has a resistance spell of some kind on. Because he's so focused on like raising his own class, he can't see that far.
And so that's what we're going to have to be looking for in this game is like how quickly and how effectively are Ramza and Delita radicalized by seeing the bigger picture of this world.
Like I don't know what happens to them ultimately. I'm not that far in the game, but I do, whenever shit like this happens, and it happens a lot, I picture 2 meters being filled next to Ramza, like the radicalization
like
meter.
Mega Man boss meters?
Yes, exactly. Just like that, it makes the same fucking noise. And as far as I know, Delita's meter fills up way faster.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Argath then asks, instead of thinking about this, Argath asks, you kidnap men for ransom, then dare ask the difference between us? This guy says that kidnapping, it's got nothing to do with Regraf's plans. He would never hold a man for ransom. I'm like, oh fuck, inside job? All I set up to frame the poor rebels, Chris? How will our heroes handle this information?
A good example of some poor localization here is that the guy at one point says, "We'd never kidnap a VIP for money." And using the term VIP feels way out of place right here.
VIP is not something these guys would say.
For some reason, he also calls him Mr. Wheatgraff. So,
Mr., not Sir, Mr.
Yeah, Mr. Wheatgraff.
Ramza asks an important question. Then who? Somebody kidnapped the Marquis Eldmore de Limberry. The swordsman then gives the gang the dots, but Argath isn't having it. Speak. If not you, then on whom would you pin the deed?
Pin the deed.
Yeah, pin the deed. Delita says nothing and continues to remain a cool guy posted up against the wall. I think that's why Delita is getting more radicalized here, because Ramza's engaged and not fully thinking about what's happening. Ramza's between Argath and Delita, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's trying to manage his boy. Yeah. Even though I don't think he's his boy by choice. He just happened to be his boy.
We're just hanging out. We're all on the same job. We're fucking coworkers right now. We got to do the best we can.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, we get a name. Our prisoner confesses a name. It was Gustav. Argath does not know who that is, so Delita finally pipes up and tells him, Gustav Margriff, Lieutenant Commander of the Dead Men.
Oh, I'm getting so confused because in mine it says Captain of the Death Corps. The Death Corps
Death Corps?
The Death Corps is the Corpse Brigade.
Corpse Brigade followed Death Corps, right?
I know, but I think that the
Death Corps is your Corpse Brigade?
Yes, I think. But now I'm getting confused. Anyway, I think they're using terms interchangeably that should not be used interchangeably in the PS1 localization.
Localization, folks.
Yes.
It's a tough gig. Argath thinks he has it. He doesn't say aha, but I feel the word's presence. So the Corpse Brigade was behind the kidnapping. My guy gathers himself and gets into the kneeling position. No, we're not like Gustav. We fight to end the aristocracy, not to become it. To be treated as equals, as the men of honor that we are. Chris, we must empower the proletariat. This is the first hint that I got that I was buying the propaganda that the Corpse Brigade was bad.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. Like the game had impressed me with its level of nuance here.
Yeah.
Well, that declaration earns him another kick in the stomach from Argath, Chris. He says, what do you maggots know of honor?
Maggots.
And you can tell this worked on Ramza because he's starting to capital letters think about shit, because then he hero swipes and tells Argath that's enough.
Mm-hmm.
But Argath glares at Ramza and says nothing. The sprite is unchanged, but I feel like it was a look of anger. Like, how dare you tell me what I have to do here type shit.
That's what Kirby eyes are there for.
Yes, the angry eyes. Argath feels that he is in the middle of proving his worth, but he seems to comply, and he asks the prisoner where Gustav is. And we get an answer in the Sandrat Siege.
Sandrat Cellar.
Goddamn rat cellars. Argath doesn't know what that means, so Delita fills him in. You are not of Galleon. Small wonder you've not heard of them. Sand rats are unique to the Zeklaus Desert, north of Dorter. You got Zeklaus Desert there?
Zeklaus Desert, north of Dorter, yeah.
Argath spits nothing but question marks, and Ramza asks if there are any villages between here and there. Delita says no, but the Desert Men once had a settlement on the outskirts, and its ruins remain. Chris, that's enough for Ramza. He thinks that's where we're going to find this Gustav and the Marquis. Argath asks Ramza how he knows that, and Ramza tells him, a siege is a sand rat's burrow, his home.
Cellar means a rat's nest. This is so confusing, because I thought they were literally talking about some sort of mutant rats.
Actual rats.
Yes.
Go out and fight the monsters.
This is one of the first times when almost an entire section is very poorly communicated to the player in the PlayStation 1 release.
Argath hits that information with a question mark, and so do I. Fade to black, and we're back on the world map. And I'm like, is that dude dead? Did we just leave him lying there, stabbed in the slums?
Probably.
Okay, because Argath hit him 2 or 3 times and kicked him.
Yeah, at the very least, he's left to fend for himself. Did you go straight to the next mission?
Fuck yeah, I did.
Oh, I did some more monster battling to get my guys leveled up, and nothing of note happened except for I did experience my first casted magic spell, which in the PlayStation 1 version, every magic spell has an incantation that the character will say aloud. I mean, not voice, but texted. Would you like to hear the incantation for the spell Bolt?
Yeah, give it to me.
Which is the lightning spell.
Right, lightning.
Strip away the ground with glistening blades. Bolt!
Oh, the lightning's the blade. I get it.
Yes, got it. Okay, so
very clever.
But I did get all the squire skills that I needed, and I changed Ramza into a knight. So he's a knight now.
What does that mean?
Not a cop.
Does that just give him, when you change someone's class like that, does that give them just access to new abilities, or does it change their base stats? Like a sword strike will do more?
I do believe it changes their base stats and the equipment that they can wear as well.
Okay.
So I was able to purchase because knights can equip shields, squires cannot. And knights also seem to have a higher propensity to block attacks. Also of note, changing Ramza's class does not change his sprite like it does
I noticed that.
The basic characters.
Kind of fucks me up.
Yeah.
I guess that gives him definition and distinction.
Yeah. So I'm ready to go to the next battle if you are.
Yep. I'll make that battle squad, but it makes me split my guys into 2 squads for this one.
Yeah.
Which is the first.
Yeah, I'm going Ramza/Cindy and Hornston Lester, which proved to be ineffective, and I eventually changed one of my characters to a white mage for this battle.
For some healing powers.
Yes, healing powers,
now,
although the white mage was level 1 and didn't have much.
I was going to say, once you make them a white mage, did you have to go level up somewhere else to get them the actual, any kind of white mage ability?
Well, this character was base level, was level 1, so she was already pretty weak. They do come, at least this character did, I don't know if it was one of my starting characters or not, but they do come preloaded, I believe, with at least some job points, so I was able to at least get Cure and Protect.
Good.
So I had 2 skills. What is the name of this area for you?
Sandratch Siege.
Oh, same thing. Okay, they changed it again for me.
Mm-hmm. What you got?
It used to be Rat's Nest or Cellar in the dialogue, but now it's called Cellar of Sandmouse.
That's fine.
Yeah, that works a little better.
Night Attack plays.
Yep.
Some job classes are talking amongst themselves in a corner of the city.
Yeah, there's 3 knights, an archer, and a monk.
Chris, it's the Corpse Brigade, and they sound like they're fucked.
Yeah.
One asks, then you've heard about the order. They mean to strike us for true. The archer wonders what's to become of them. The knight has an idea. I say we forget this business and run. There's naught for it. The other knight agrees. If we follow Wigraf, he will lead us only to our graves. All the pieces fall into place as the knight concludes, God to be good, Gustav's ransom of the Marquis will fatten our purses enough that we can quit this life for good and for all.
These are the coin wrangling sect of the Corpse Brigade, right?
Only out for the money, get in one last job, and then we're out. Then we're free.
But do we blame them? Because most of them were thrown to the side after the war.
No, I think they're
doing immoral things. They are put in a bad situation, and they have been left to do immoral things.
They're not acting nobly in their bad situation, whereas the other ones are still men of principle amongst their starvation.
Gotcha.
The camera then pans over slightly to reveal our gang of motley aristocratic fuckers waiting outside. Ramza declares, we must silence this watch before they can raise the alarm. Objective, defeat all enemies, commence! Battle? This is neat. Some of their dudes are standing cross-armed, like protecting doorways full of other guys. Not doing that.
I think that's a knight skill, like a defensive skill. I could be wrong because I haven't got that deep into the job stuff yet at this point in the game.
Next note, fuck me, I log jammed my guys by one door and should have worked them into both doors because there's different points of access to the same area here.
Yeah. I made that same mistake multiple times as well. And ultimately, when I got a win here, it was by drawing guys out one at a time.
Yeah.
Also, for some reason, Argath kept using all my goddamn potions to keep himself alive, but that actually made him run pretty good amount of interference.
Okay. Give him something to do.
Yeah. I got 2 new incantations during this battle.
Yeah,
you ready?
What are those?
Destruction of nature. Gather in flame.
Fire.
Do you have to destroy nature? Can't you destroy like houses and stuff?
Fire naturally, like forest fires, they are a naturally occurring phenomenon, right? It's not always
unless I'm trying to light my porno on fire. And
I'm just saying that like fire is a natural force of nature. Does that answer your question?
Kind of. I don't know.
Okay. Well, the next one is a white mage skill. It's called Cure.
Life's refreshing breeze.
Blow in energy. Cure.
Right, that's what I say when I use Banaka.
Blow. Baraka?
Banaka.
Binaka.
Oh my god, this bad guy team has a character named Surge with an E.
Okay.
Also a character named Abel, also with an E.
Play the hits.
And a character named Junk.
Junk?
Just Junk.
Called the guy Junk.
It's close to Jank, though, so, maybe another Xenosaga thing.
This is where I learned that archers can shoot arrows over walls.
Yeah, their archer does it a lot.
Yes, he does.
I ended up not using an archer in this battle because you only get 4 guys, which I kind of hate, but the reason they do that is because you've got these 2 guest characters there, too. I wish you could do something about that, but whatever. Yeah, that was annoying. The archers like to use the ability called Charge +1, +2, +3, etc. which allows them to charge their bow up and shoot it and fuck up your mages, basically.
I made Godsmack into a black mage, but all he does is Phoenix down and throw potions at people. I didn't set his shit up properly.
Yeah. Well, it happens. I gave my black mage, as her secondary skill, the squire abilities, so that instead of wasting MP in certain situations in which the spell might not land, just be able to throw rocks and finish guys off, which ended up being...
Rock their world.
Yes, rock their face with a rock.
Delita has been dead for 10 minutes, and I wonder if this matters.
Yeah, Delita died in mine, too. He just rushes in. There's nothing that you can do.
No, he just goes in and then face down. And I'm glad there's no fail condition associated with that.
Yeah.
Anything else for this battle?
No, we win. We get a high potion and a blind knife.
Music, anxiety plays. We then cut to Wiegraf and Gustav having some kind of showdown in some kind of stone dungeon. Dead bodies are everywhere.
The bodies have hit the floor.
Let them.
One of the bodies has like long gray hair, and he looks to be a unique sprite.
Both men have swords, and now that I think about it, the white-capped man from earlier in Dorter was Wiegraf, yes. Wiegraf opens with a narrative banger. You've taken leave of your senses, Gustav.
Leave of your senses.
It's like, you're out of your fucking mind, buddy.
Yeah.
Gustav counters, have I? What hope does your fool revolution hold? Chris, have you ever joined a fool revolution?
Yeah, every time I get my kids to come sit down for dinner, it's a fool's revolution.
Do they not eat? What are they doing now?
No, it's just like, it's dinner time. It's like, no, I got to shoot 4 more baskets, or I got to,
Okay, have a list of things they have to accomplish first.
level up this Pokemon or whatever.
What hope does your fool revolution hold? Dreams do not fill a man's stomach or make soft the packed earth on which he beds.
So they got that, but where they started was, what we need is a food and a place to sleep.
Yeah, I need a house and a refrigerator, you piece of shit.
Not ideas. We need it now.
The hits keep coming, Chris, as Wiegraf retorts. You see not beyond the end of your nose. The crown strays, Gustav. It must be led back onto the path.
You have to fix the basics. That's what he says.
To that, it's true, Chris.
Yeah.
To that, Gustav says, and you think yourself the man to do this. More the fool you, Wiegraf. I love it. I don't even care if this is accurate.
So Gustav is not interested in politics or power. He's just trying to feed his boys, right?
I think so.
I think we've established that previously.
So Gustav would have been with the fools we just fucking killed.
Yes.
Okay. Wiegraf takes one step closer to the edge, further pinning Gustav against the wall. He speaks. You have spoken your fill? Then we are done. And does that mean like he's spoken his last words, like he's going to fucking kill him, or like this meeting's over?
I think it means this meeting is over. Because in mine, he just says goodbye. And I feel like those are parting words of not, I'm going to kill you. But maybe they are.
Well, Chris, Gustav then leaps forward and slashes at Wiegraf, but Wiegraf dodges and rams his sword through Gustav's chest.
Oh, okay. Well, that settles it then, right?
Yeah, that's what that was.
Yep. Very good crunchy sound effects here once again in this duel. They didn't cut any corners on the sprite work here.
Gustav drops his sword, it clinks, and then he grunts. Wiegraf slowly steps back and pulls his sword from Gustav, who then falls face down in the dead-ass dirt. Right on cue, our heroes step in. Ramza, Argath, and Delita, the holy fucking trinity of shithead heroes.
Yeah.
Ramza sees Wiegraf standing in the sea of bodies and can't believe this shit. Argath then sees the Marquis. I guess that's the guy who's with the black cape and white hair among the dead.
Yes.
He rushes forward, but Wiegraf extends his sword and halts further investigative progress. Argath cannot believe this shit, deploying a, how dare you threaten me? Delita's like, come on, man, calm down. Wiegraf tells us some surprising information. The Marquis is unharmed. You are free to return him to Egros.
There's no way we would render a unique sprite for just a dead body, after all.
No, not here. Ramza steps forward, and Wiegraf lowers his sword. Then Ramza asks what the deal is here. Why release him? Wiegraf shoots it straight. The Marquis' abduction was ill done. Such craven methods serve not our ends. Let me walk free, and I will release the Marquis to your care. A fair bargain. Argath raises a fist, deploys his angry eyes, and retorts, you mock us. You are in no position to bargain. Chris, what do you think's happening here? Do you remember what your original thought with this shit was? Like, who's getting played? Like, was Gustav the man that Dice Dark had on the inside in the Corpse Brigade doing ill shit on his behalf?
I don't think so. Like, so you're saying you don't trust Dice Dark because he's got ill man.
Like, he's got nobility inside job, not 4D chess, but like beginner's 3D chess.
So you don't think his man could be Wiegraf?
I guess it could, but not in this scenario.
It wouldn't necessarily make any sense, though, too.
Yeah,
unless he is a noble that's trying to overthrow the nobility. I don't see that happening yet.
Wheatgraf is doing too much good right now to be a bad guy.
That's true.
His ideals stand tall.
But is Dystarg... I don't think Dystarg is ideologically aligned with Wheatgraf.
No, I don't believe that at all. Yeah, that's why I thought Gustav had to be his man.
Could be. Or maybe his man is just a man.
Could be a guy. Ramza puts an arm in front of Argath, easing the hostility and telling his boy that Wheatgraf isn't bullshitting here. Our party moves out of the exit right as Wheatgraf moves toward it with his sword still drawn, like our guys are rotating around each other.
Yeah.
Marquise Elmdor?
Elmdor.
Marquis Elmdor de Limbury.
Marquise Elmdor, who did not die, croaks on the ground with his Sephiroth hair. Wheatgraf neatly slips out while the gang turns to look at Elmdor. This greatly upsets Argath, but Delita tells him to let it go. Argath asks, "Why do you stay me?"
Stay me?
Yes, Chris, I want you to ask your kids to ask you this. Why do you stay me, father?
Why do you stay me?
Restrain, I think, is what that is.
I'm just trying to get my kids to not stay. Get them the fuck out of here.
Leave. You're
More
18.
often.
Anyway, Delita tells him, the Corpse Brigade is finished in any case. There is naught to be gained by a quarrel here. Ramza at this point moves over to check on Elmdor. He's weak, but he's unharmed. Argath spits the dots, and Delita says, we have to get Elmdor back to Egros, fade to black.
We did it, Eric. We won the hardest battle in the game.
We did? That's the hardest battle in the game? Thank God. We're done.
It's not. One thing interesting about when you hit a random battle is that you do not have to place Ramza in that battle. So you can send 5 of your dudes out there and level them all up.
Yeah, that's nice.
At this point in time, I'm still leveling up Ramza.
So don't the enemies reflect Ramza's overall level as well?
That's a great question, but I don't know the answer to it.
I think they do.
Okay, cool. All right, well, let's consult the RealNet.
Initializing RealNet.
Hello, RealNet. Thank you for joining us once again on this podcast. Grace One Deer posts a link to a Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions live PvP tournament 2023. Would you watch that for fun?
Is that through hacked PSP?
That's a great question. I don't know, but they did it last year, so probably.
Yeah. I'm going to say there's definitely ways to fake a network at this point with that stuff.
Dragon Swords, yeah.
I just said that to me is like on par with the competitive Catherine playing you would see at EVO. The side matches.
Yeah,
Shit like that. Like Pikmin 2 multiplayer, Metroid Prime 2 multiplayer, just weird stuff that people get really good at for some reason.
That stuff's so cool.
Yeah.
Dragon Sword says, Chemist's little hats are great. So tiny, look at them go. Helio says they can use guns too, which can be nice. I guess that literally chemists can use guns in this game.
I didn't know guns were in this game.
I didn't know guns were in this game either, so. That's the second time we've heard that in this recording session, so perhaps. Grace One Deer says, fun fact, chemists in real life can also use guns. Okay, yeah, we said that earlier, I think.
Unless, like, the state says they can't have them.
Yes. Sig says JP Up is so goddamn essential to playing this game. I don't know what that is, so maybe I should probably get it.
Yeah, in the Resident Arc video I watched about tips to play this game, it said, get JP Up as your first skill and leave it on the whole game.
Is it a Squire thing?
I got it through Squires, yeah.
Okay, maybe I just need to go back and double check.
JP is job points, so whatever the equivalent of that is in your game.
JP is just a guy I know.
JP Lossman?
JP. Grace One Deer says, Against the Storm is an amazing, relaxing game. Scratches that base building itch perfectly. Love building bases.
Absolutely not.
Love building bases.
Describe my nightmares.
There's not even any fighting. It's just building bases.
Oh, you're playing the Ford Knight.
Yes. John Doe says, at this point, my main appreciation for Ubisoft games is style open world games is for the fact that they've made me appreciate how much I prefer more curated game experiences.
So the opposite of their intended effect. I thought I'd say that Ubisoft open world games aren't expertly designed. They have fantastic people working on those and they serve a purpose. But I think for me and a lot of people, they've all just kind of coalesced into the Ubisoft game.
Yeah, I think they should exist. They just don't need to exist for me.
Yeah, it's not something that to get me to invest 100 hours in an open world game, it has to have Cosmic Kiryu in it or Cloud.
Yeah. John Doe reminds me that there are special RealNet for the Panzer Dragoon Saga series was called the Secret Worm Family.
Yeah.
Initializing Secret Worm Family.
Secret Worm Family, of course.
I forgot about that. That's pretty funny. WP says, Wheatgraf is the leader of the Corpse Brigade and tries to hold on to his knight's honor. I think we arrived at that point.
I mean, there has to be a constant paradox in your brain of trying to be an honorable knight as well as a puckish rogue.
But Salad does say that Wheatgraf doth desire the power.
He does, yeah. Who in this game, other than Ramza, does not seek power?
That's a good point. Pretty much everybody so far. Oh, WP helps us out here and says that for you in the PSP version, the term yell is called tailwind.
I would have never guessed that.
Oh, yeah. Well, it gives you +1 to your speed in that battle, and it costs nothing, so it helps you to continue to level up if you're just standing there in the corner.
You know, it's funny. I think it's the select button that will give you further details on what things mean. But on the Xbox 360 controller I'm playing the emulator with, the select button is like stuck. So I have to put like a lot of effort in to make it work, like hit it like 10 times to make it come up with something.
Can you assign it to like a key or something?
Most likely. Should probably do that. Probably look into that.
Dill 6 Row says that you should have named Ramza Lincoln Park.
Yeah. That may exceed the character limit.
Probably. L Park.
Take out the vowels. Lincoln Park.
John Doe says, such is Brigandy's reward. I fucking love when people use the word brigand. Yeah, I need to get that in my vernacular.
Brigandry's the possessive is very good.
Yes.
Such as Brigandry's reward.
Mm-hmm. 6 says the Corpse Brigade is the Death Corps. Yeah, I got confused because I think there were the Death Knights too, or something that we were talking about. It's very confusing. Butt Salad says, talking about the battle we just covered, the meanest way to do this battle is to have a thief charm one of the knights in the building. I think charm must probably turn them against each other.
So I don't have a thief yet.
Yeah, I don't either. I forgot thieves were in this game.
It's very strange that thieves have a charm ability, but I guess who else you can assign that to?
Yeah, I don't know if this game has like any like dancers or bards or anything like that.
Yeah.
Don't think so, at least.
I think I have Onion Knight in my game.
Yeah, I do not. John Doe says Argath is the malicious version of the dude from the beginning of Parasite Eve who's really proud of the fact that his dad got him the good seats for the opera date and is bragging to his date about it with zero self-awareness to his date.
His date, he dies in the opening scene, right?
I'm pretty sure almost everybody there gets lit on fire.
Corpse sickle.
John Doe also wants to know, Eric, if that was a Who Did Not Die delivery of fucking Muppet Christmas Carol reference.
That was an original Dickens quotation, but yes.
Okay.
The Gonzo delivery was the direct reference.
Gotcha. All right, Real Dad, thank you for joining us on this fine Sunday evening.
It's Sunday.
Sunday evening for another episode of Retrograde Amnesia. We'll see you soon. This episode is a production of Retrograde Amnesia, recorded on March 24th, 2024. Thank you, Mark Shepard, for the introductory music.
You're welcome, Chris.
And thank you to WorldSyn for the podcast artwork. You can find us on Twitter, Retro Amnesia Pod, Blue Sky, patreon.com/retroam, and get bonus sex.
Bonus sex? No, that is not on the reward tier.
Patreon.com/retroam and get access to bonus episodes, such as our exploration of the Xenogears Perfect Works, or weird trivia games, or an entire miniseries on the beautiful Super Nintendo game that never came out in the United States of America called Terranigma. You can find out more about Terranigma at terranigma.com. Until next time, Eric.
Blame yourself for Mark.
You're welcome, Chris.
And now you may go back to sleep. Whenever I cough right now, because my lower abs are so sore from running, because that muscle just for whatever reason
engage your core.
Those muscles just won't build. I guess I probably should work out other than running, but I have to bend over to cough.
Oh,
I have to stand up
to brace yourself, otherwise it hurts the abs.
Yeah. I went in the corner of the gym after my kid's basketball game and started doing that, and Brooke was like, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, "Nothing. I just can't cough standing up right now. That's all."
The only reason, by the way, when I accosted you in a parking lot the other day, it's because I was going to Planet Fitness.
Yeah.
But the only reason I go to the gym is to do core and leg work to make sure I don't. So
running
myself.
Doesn't hurt. Yeah. I've.
It's not for strength. It is for protection.
Yeah. I do. Let's read your comments and see what you have to say today. Yakuza, no, Like a Dragon. We're at 40 minutes and I have no more content. Do you have any like tertiary mechanics or anything you want to talk about, that could squeeze in here, or just hit the real net, or anything you want to talk about?
No, that's all I got.
Okay. I don't think I have any more mechanics or any more stories to tell. I think the stories to tell in terms of the way battles play out become much more interesting as the game moves along. Because most of these are pretty straightforward, I think. All the battles. It's just don't die and win.
I lose over and over again, of course.
Yeah. Well, maybe you should just work on that leveling up stuff a little bit. So these are these are the coin wrangling. These are the coin wrangling sect.
What the hell? Ramza says, "You'll pardon me."
Oh God.
Play